Hello, this is Wu Ming here. So today I wanted to talk about the Magic 6 by Grandmaster Simon, my previous Grandmaster from Mo Pai Hushi Kung Fu. A friend of mine asked for a series of videos on the Magic 6 Qigong routine. And so what I'm showing tonight is the very first movement, which is called Sleeping Butterfly. It's also known as butterfly breathing. It's just a breathing technique, but it is also Qigong. So you start with your hands pretty much in this position. Then bring your hands to this position, and this is where we start from. And you want to inhale and bring your arms out like this. So, which is also very similar to a Tai Chi movement, but either way, you come out like this, and then you roll your hands back like that, and almost grabbing the air behind you, and then you exhale. And when you exhale, you tense the muscles from the top of your stomach to the bottom, forcing the air out of your lungs and condensing your diaphragm and all that, all the breathing muscles. And what this does, if you breathe this way a lot, so if you do this routine a lot, it gives you the iron shirt, which makes it much harder for people to hurt you when you get punched in the body or hit with a stick or something like that. Could even lessen the damage of a knife or something like that, but a knife is still able to cut through somebody's stomach even if they do the iron shirt. So it's not really an iron shirt, okay guys? But the meaning of iron shirt was just that you're creating a resilient body that is very good at handling punishment, at least that is not completely lethal, but yet punishment that you're going to come across in a fight. And so this does definitely give you a benefit over other fighters if they don't train breathing this way and they don't do Qigong. But anyways, blessings to everyone. Wu Ming again, and I wanted to add to this that when you're after you do, where when you start exhaling, you're also squeezing the diaphragm and the breathing muscles and all this. Like when you do this part where you come together close with your hands, you are actually putting even more pressure on the abdominal cavity itself and giving the muscles even more tension when you're doing this. So again, it's very good for the iron shirt. The other thing is, in Mo Pai, we did this by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and then you would do what was called pronouncing the T, which is like and what that part of it was actually to almost do a Kegel exercise where you're tensing the pelvic floor as well. So you're tensing all of your abdominal muscles and the pelvic floor at the same time when you do the pronouncing the T. And so and he's the only person that, like Grandmaster Simon is the only person that taught that breathing that I know of, at least that pronouncing the T part. Otherwise, the breathing that he teaches is very similar to other forms of Qigong breathing or just martial arts breathing in general. But I did find this unique, unless I'm mistaken. I've never seen that type of breathing anywhere else, but let me know if you've seen it somewhere else. Hello, Wu Ming here. For the second video of the Magic 6 Qigong routine by Grandmaster Simon, I wanted to do what is called sleeping butterfly breath. In the last video I said that butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly is the same thing, but it isn't. I just didn't remember. But sleeping butterfly is the second type of breathing. So the first was butterfly breathing. Then the second movement is sleeping butterfly, which is very similar. Sorry. So the end part of the breathing is exactly the same. It's just well, first of all, it's a 2-cycle breath, whereas the butterfly breathing is only 1 cycle of breathing. So done together, you want to do 3 sets or even 6 if you really want to push yourself of the butterfly breath. Then you want to do 3 of sleeping butterfly. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So sorry, it's actually 3 cycles of breathing in the sleeping butterfly. Yeah, so those 2 movements you want to start the whole routine with, the Magic 6 routine, and then also you'll do the next movement, and then you will do butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly breathing again in between each exercise and at the end as well. So the butterfly breaths are actually the core of the whole Qigong routine, but eventually I'll show, at the very end of all these videos, I'll show myself doing the whole set, which is actually a considerable amount of exercise and takes a great deal of endurance and whatnot, and easily will make you sweat, especially if you are new to exercise, new to Qigong, new to martial arts, something like that. But either way, it's a great routine, and sleeping butterfly breaths are the second movement. I'll try to show the third movement tomorrow night. This is the third installment of the Magic 6 Qigong routine by Grandmaster Simon. The third movement is called Weeping Willow, so I'm going to show a video of that, and I'm going to narrate as I'm doing the movements. But one thing I wanted to mention about the previous videos is that I forgot to mention that butterfly breathing is a hard style breathing, and that sleeping butterfly breathing is a soft style breathing. So there's both hard and soft forms of Qigong, and within the hard there is soft, and within the soft there is hard. So there's nothing that is truly, absolutely hard or soft. Everything is a combination of the two. But when I say hard, what I mean is that it's mostly hard with a small amount of softness. And when I say something is soft, it's mostly soft with a small amount of hardness. So either way, it was important to mention that, and this is a yin and yang type energy, the fact that you're doing hard breathing first for 3 reps, or 6 reps. It's like 6 reps is to doing the complete form the way it was really intended, but doing 3 sets of each is like a beginner's stage. In fact, maybe the first time you do it, you should only do it once. But you want to eventually move to 3 sets of each exercise, with 3 sets of butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly breathing in between, at the beginning, in between each set, and at the end as well. From neutral stance, we inhale, we slide back into a bow stance, then we switch to a bow stance with the other leg as we exhale, and we swing our arms down low as possible to get the best stretch we can, around our knee. In a more advanced stage, you would actually place your stomach and your chest on your knee to get the most stretch and benefit out of this. So yeah, you breathe in and then you breathe out. You can get that stretch, and you do it with both legs I just showed there. You either do sets of 3 or 6 if you want. And then this is butterfly breathing, which I've already shown. And as I said at the very beginning of the exercise, you do butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly breathing. But then after each set of different exercises that are within this exercise routine, you also do butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly breathing, and then you do it at the very end as well. So it's kind of a continuity, that flows through the whole routine is the butterfly breaths. Hello, Wu-Ming here with the 4th installment of the Magic 6 routine, the Magic 6 Qigong routine by Grandmaster Simon. And the 4th movement is called Mounting the Horse. And basically what you're going to do is it's almost like a crescent kick. From neutral stance, you do almost a low crescent kick. I don't know what you would call it, but it's actually a parry. If somebody kicks, you can do this thing. I'm going to show it and narrate it after talking, but you can do that, and then you just get into a horse stance and sink. So when you pull your pull your arms into chamber, do this kick, and then get into a horse stance, and you inhale and then exhale. But I'm going to show a video of me doing it and narrate while I'm doing the movement. So here I am performing mounting the horse. You can do this horse stance much lower if you want to get a more advanced workout and a better strength building exercise for kicking and kicking strength and power. And also, you can do this into a sumo stance or a horse stance. Grandmaster Simon stressed a horse stance in particular and never suggested using a sumo stance. I disagree with that, and I like the sumo stance a lot better, actually. Here I am doing butterfly breathing, and what I want you to notice here is the sound difference between the butterfly breathing and the sleeping butterfly breathing. And that's the difference between hard and soft style Qigong and soft and hard style breathing. And so, when you're doing the soft style, you want to actually not breathe through your mouth, and in the hard style, you do want to breathe through your mouth. In both styles, you keep the tongue pressed to the roof of the mouth to create what's called the chi bridge. What else can I say? Even in the soft style, in the hard style, you tense your muscles much harder. But in the soft style, you are still tensing your muscles when you breathe out. It's a much more subtle tension and not as forced. Here is a description by Grandmaster Simon himself. Hello, Wu-Ming here with the 5th movement in the Magic 6 Qigong routine by Grandmaster Simon. This one's called the Praying Crane. Here's an illustration. Here's me performing Praying Crane. At first, you step back into a bow stance, and then you do a push forward right here, and then you come back into what's called the crane's wings, and then you bend forward to touch your toe. If you can't touch your toe, that's fine. Just bend as far as you can comfortably. As you keep practicing the movement, you will get better and better flexibility in your hamstrings. And that push at the beginning is something similar to what we call pushing the mountain. And that's a great exercise for building the iron shirt, which I've discussed in one of the earlier videos. So all in all, this is, working a lot of the body and getting the body in shape and flexible and able to take punishment in a fight. And then here is butterfly breathing, of course. And then after that, I do sleeping butterfly. And that is just like every other movement within the Magic 6. You do butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly afterwards. You do it at the beginning of the routine, in between each movement, and at the end of the routine. It's important to note in Qigong of any sort that you're always using proper Qigong breathing. When I discussed the breathing for butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly breathing, that's the same type of Qigong breathing that you should be doing throughout all these movements. And here is a written description from Grandmaster Simon of how to do praying crane. Pushing the mountain. And there were actually a few different variations of how you could do pushing the mountain, but this is one of them that I'm going to show. And this one was unique to the Kungrobics Magic 6 Qigong routine. But generally, the way it would be is you're in what was called a half moon stance, half moon crescent stance. But most people refer to this as Sanchin in Okinawan karate or other forms of karate. There might be other names for it, but so Sanchin stance, or what in Mopai Kung Fu it was called a half moon crescent stance. Either way, you start with your palm here on the back leg side of your body, and the other arm is just down like this. And then you breathe in. This was meant to be done as a hard breathing style. You can do it soft breathing, but I believe it is very useful to do it as a hard style breathing, and that works the iron shirt and works the abdominal muscles and makes it harder for your opponent to hurt you or to wind you specifically. One time, my instructor hit me right in the solar plexus, and it started winding me. And I've been winded from hockey and football and all these different things. I've been winded on the playground at school, so I know what being winded feels like and all that. But after taking Kung Fu, when the first time I got winded after taking Kung Fu, I was able to actually stop myself from being fully winded, and if needed, I could have still fought and defended myself. It just so happened that it was in sparring with my teacher, but if it had been a street situation, a self defense situation, I know that I can actually stop myself from getting winded with what is called iron shirt qigong techniques, or just breathing techniques in general. Also, yoga breathing techniques are exactly the same, or not exactly the same, but yoga and qigong actually has the exact same meaning in my mind. Or you could say pranayama, which is breathing exercises, but it's breathing and energy exercises combined. But yoga, all forms of yoga, are also that, and are also forms of meditation. Same with qigong. So really, yoga and qigong are very equivalent terms, one from India and one from China. Um, anyways, long story short, you get into your crescent moon stance. And that is called pushing the mountain. I'll show another video of me doing the routine from a better camera angle, so you can see my feet and you can see what I call the half moon stance, or the half moon crescent stance, or the Sanchen stance. So in this video, I'm doing pushing the mountain again, but I'm just trying to show a better example of the Sanchen stance, or half moon stance as it was called in Mo Pai Kung Fu. So here I am just showing the stance itself. Here I am doing a little bit of Sanchen kata in Shorin-ryu karate, just to kind of emphasize that Sanchen, is the name of this stance, and Sanchen is the name of that kata as well. And then here I am doing the pushing the mountain as I've shown before, but now you can see my legs in a much better camera angle. And then, as usual in this routine, I will be doing the butterfly breathing and the sleeping butterfly breathing at the end. Anyways, blessings to everyone, and I hope you enjoy the video. So this is Wu Ming here with the 7th movement in the Magic 6 Kungrobics Qigong routine by Grandmaster Simon. Here I am performing what is called dismounting the horse. I did show mounting the horse already, and see, mounting the horse is actually the beginning part of dismounting the horse. So you mount the horse here, and then this is called dismounting the horse. And then you go down into what we called an open X stance, and you want your knee to be about 1 inch off the ground to get the most strength building benefits from this exercise. The part here right after mounting the horse there is actually sweeping somebody's kick out of the way. So it's actually a parry, and actually has martial arts applications. And this exercise in particular is very good for kicking strength and kicking power, which again is something that Mo Pai Hushi was actually known for, and that my Grandmaster Simon was known for, was his kicking ability. And the whole school had great kicking ability because of exercises just like this. Here in the top right corner, I was showing a different angle on the whole foot movement for this exercise. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Blessings to everyone. Hello, Wu Ming here, and I'm sure you've all been waiting for it. This is the video where I show the very last movement of the Magic 6 Qigong routine by Grandmaster Simon. And the very last and 8th movement is called sowing the seeds. And I will show a video right after this of me performing sowing the seeds. But there are 8 movements in the Magic 6 routine, and I just wanted to point out there's a lot of people would think that there would be 6 movements, but butterfly breathing and sleeping butterfly breathing are not considered independent movements. It's kind of an intro, and also it's done at the end and also in between each set. So although it is a very important part of the set, it is not actually considered by my Grandmaster one of the 6 movements in the Magic 6. So I just wanted to clarify that. So this is me performing the sowing the seeds movement. This movement right here has martial arts applications. We used to call it a bell block. It's not immediately obvious how you would use that in a fight, but you actually can. And it's actually good for knife defense specifically, or at least I was taught a very good knife defense with using a bell block. You start from neutral stance, then you do the bell block as you slide into a bow stance towards one side, then you reach down towards your foot, and then you pull your hand back across your abdomen and do a hard style breath. When you inhale, you slide out into the bow stance. When you exhale, you sink down into a horse stance or a sumo stance while you're pulling your arm across your abdomen while doing, like I said, hard style Qigong breathing. And then here I am doing the butterfly breaths and the sleeping butterfly breaths that is a part and runs through and is at the beginning and the end of the Magic 6 Qigong routine. And yes, that's all I have to say about this. All in all, it's a very good routine for health and body conditioning, kicking strength, and developing the iron shirt.